Hello and welcome to another episode of the Winter Moon Podcast. I'm David.
I'm Brian.
I'm John Bushfax Bushman.
And I'm Nathan Minor Tom Nicholson.
And welcome to the show again, everybody. We have some pretty awesome topics to talk about today. We're going to discuss the exhibition match that occurred on August 28th between Brian and John. And I casted it and Nathan casted it. And we had a really nice turnout from our community. We had about 35 people on average watching at any given time for that, which was really great for a Wednesday night TTS stream. Really cool. And it was great to see everybody. And we're going to have another one, and we'll get to that after we recap this one. But I just wanted to say thank you again to Brian and John for being great sports and being willing to get up there and play some really, really good Legion for the audience. That was really nice to have you both.
Absolutely exhausting. A whole tournament's worth of Legion in a night. That's what that was.
It's great.
Yeah.
Everybody's watching every single move, and we got the cameras moving around to see exactly what your miniatures are seeing, and it's like I got a drone that can just hover around. And
we need that. We need some wires hanging across IRL tournaments so you could do that.
I'll get another truss. We'll do a zip line. We'll do a zip line.
Exactly.
Camera.
You've seen how they do it at sports, at basketball and all that. That's what they do.
Yeah, they got the cameras on zip lines or wires. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
I think I don't know if we're gonna spoil some of it later or not as a recap. So I won't say anything yet about the end, but I will just say it was a great game. This is not one of those ones where you get on and you can tell by round 2 who's going to win. That was to the end. There was back and forth. Oh, okay, I think it's going to go this way. Oh, wait a minute. That changed something. This could go the other way. And it was very, very well calculated. It's when you're streaming, it's fun to make as a commentator. It's fun to be like, oh, I think this is going to happen. And then it happens. It's more fun when you go, oh, I think this is going to happen. And then the player does something that was way better than what you said. And that happened at several points. So yeah, super, super fun time. And I think the whole video's on the YouTube channel, right, David?
Yes. Yeah. So the live stream is still up on the YouTube. It's unedited. It's just whatever we showed on screen, it's there. We also did a 30-minute podcast post game. And that's available if you're a Blizzard tier member. But we're gonna sort of recap what happened more generally in this stream that we're doing now, this podcast, and just to refresh the audience for the show on what the lists were. It was Vader Dewbacks against Yoda Clone Commandos with Rex and Bad Batch. If I'm not mistaken,
you want to do official spoiler warning? Right here, and then say, hey, if you haven't seen the game yet, but you want to watch it, go fast forward to, I don't know if we timestamp these things or something, but anyway, official spoiler warning right here for that game. So if you want to see it, turn this off now, go watch it.
Yeah, turn this off, watch it, and then come back.
Yeah.
All right. Well, now with that out of the way, we'll get into the specifics of the game, and I guess we could start with the command card selection, and let's say Brian, what were you looking for in terms of battle deck against John's list?
I was really happy with something like what's it called? Close the Pocket. I would have been really happy with that. Actually, surprisingly, I know that a lot of Vader players don't like to have Vader on one side of the board. I actually like Breakthrough with Vader because it's really easy to have Vader have a strong role in the game on one side and get his surge tokens, because you don't have to feel like you have to infiltrate him, because he can get his surge tokens and to be right in the fight on round 2 anyway. And he also because he gets placed last, or you can place him last anyway, even when you don't infiltrate him, right? And so you can pick which side they have stronger, and that's the side you want to put Vader on, where he has stuff to kill, right? And so I like breakthrough. That's another one I was looking for. And then intersect signals always feels great with Dewbacks and Vader. And so those are the ones that I brought, and those were the ones that I was hoping to play into. The recover the research or shifting are also things that I can do. Bunker assaults probably. I guess bunker assault's okay. I guess personally, as a player, I don't play a whole lot of bunker assault, which I probably should fix that. And so as a result, generally, I prefer to avoid bunker assault just because of my experience level with it. Whereas, like before GenCon, like 80% of my games were intercept signals. So.
Taking notes. Play.
That's
bunker
the
assault,
diamond
Brian.
objectives, right?
Yeah, that's
intercept
the
is
diamond
diamond.
objective.
Where you can contest to score if you have the token, or you secure it to score.
Yeah.
That's
It's
a
rapidly
weird-
becoming my favorite objective, and we'll talk about that later.
I'm like
It's by far
50-50
my
on
favorite.
that one. It's tough for me.
So tell us about your list, John. What were you kind of looking for, and then we can say where it landed.
Yeah, so I absolutely love the close the pocket. Like Yoda getting to the middle, manhandling it. Love it. Close second is research, and then third being bunker assault, because I feel like I don't have to spread out and like commit to one side or the other, and I could still own both sides, kind of thing. And with
Yeah.
Bad Batch and Yoda, they're gonna own one of those bunkers and gonna score it. So
Yeah, your army's
and the commandos can defend the bunkers pretty dang well.
Really well.
right, yeah.
You
Well,
also
and then-
get easy. So sorry, you also get easy complete the mission token coverage on bunker
Yeah,
as
yeah,
well.
it's pretty. Yeah. They're gonna have to come straight to me into the defensive bubbles that become offensive bubbles, and then, yeah, absolutely.
I was gonna
Yeah.
ask, where do you? So there's kind of been an evolution, I think, about how people deploy on bunker, and I'm wondering if this rings true for any of us, right? It's easier to deploy kind of in the middle more than it is to actually deploy on the sides already, because it seems to like hide your intention, and you also have the ability maybe to react if you have units that are fast enough to react to a bunker falling or not. I'm still in that mode where I split it initially and then just like shove up the board directly. I don't like deploy in the middle all the time unless it's a fast unit.
Yeah, exactly. That's the key, is knowing the speed of your units. There's been several times where I've played bunker assault against people who have put a lot of their units in the middle and then realized that they needed to move shoot, and instead they have to double move to be able to prevent something happening, or they can't even double move and get to the spot that they need to get to. And so it really is super dependent on the distance that you can cover with your units. And personally, I think that's something that needs to be practiced.
Hiding your intentions is crazy valuable, but not at the expense of giving up winning the objectives.
Right.
So.
You don't know which objective I'm going to go to because I can't get to any of them. It's not a good way to do it.
Yeah.
I think in exactly. I think in several of the objective episodes we did, which I still feel like were probably some of our best ones in my opinion, even if maybe some aspects of them are a little dated by now. I think in several of them we mentioned that you always got to be cognizant about at the end of round one, make sure you have in your head which of my units are going to be scoring round two, and do they have the action economy to do everything they need to do? So if all they need to do is double move and score, great. They can be range 2 away from where they need to be. But if you need that unit to be moving and shooting, it needs to be one move away from scoring. And where that math kind of the next level, that's like level 1, right? But the next level is you got to think about you have your plan, and now you think about your opponent's plan. Does your opponent have speeders? Do they or Bad Batch, some fast unit that is maybe without you knowing exactly where it's going to go, have the speed necessary to threaten one of your points, and does that change your math? And so does that maybe make you think, okay, I only need 1 unit here and 1 unit here, but he's got all these Geonosians that can triple move. Ooh, I might actually need an extra naked core over here and an extra naked core over here in case my opponent decides to, triple move his naked Geo onto my thing, right? That's like the next level, is you start thinking, what's my opponent's range for threatening my objectives, and make sure that you have enough redundancy at the spots that you can address that. And if you just chunk everything in the middle, even if you got a couple fast units, 1 fast unit to each side might not be enough.
Yeah, and going last is also a huge element of this as well. Like just having the ability to hold a fast unit to last and then react to what your opponent's done.
I recognize the importance of it, but I hate doing it. I hate putting so much effort into going last. I hate playing standing orders. I refuse to do it, but it is crazy valuable. I'm with you.
No, I agree. I have this discussion with many of my practice partners, and I'm like, man, I really wish there was a better play right now than standing orders. And that's always on turn 1. That we're all just like, I wish I could play a different card. And like I play Shadow lately, right? So I divulge them all. And then it's like, well, there's no better card than standing because I'm not going to use the 3-pip. So what do? I guess I bid for last because I'm a low activation list and I need to go as slow as I can just to stay, parallel-ish.
Can I interest you in the Rebel Agent 2-pip?
We knew we were headed there.
The biggest reason why I don't like the standing orders play is because it's a gamble to get that last. Like, you're not guaranteed it, and you're giving up any other command card benefit for the gamble, for the 50% chance that you get to go last. And 50% of the time, you get nothing from it.
There's nothing wrong. There's definitely, it all depends on your list, right? But there's lots of times where you may play some kind of a 3-pip on round 1 in order to get better order control. Sometimes that's far more important than going last, especially because John said, it's not guaranteed. I will say what's fun is when your opponent has a scripted 3-pip for their opening, like you're playing against Vader or something, and you're like, nah, I know I get to go first with my standing order.
That's true.
That feels good.
I still do it.
But sometimes the order control is more important because if there's 3 units that you want to go at the end, having one of those units for sure go at the very, very last, but then the other 2, who knows where they get drawn, right? Sometimes that's a lot worse than having all 3 of your key units be the last ones you activate, even if your opponent gets 1 more last say or whatever.
Sometimes it's even worth paying 10 points for an uplink.
Sometimes,
as disgusting as that feels, sometimes it is worth to pay for an uplink to guarantee the control. I'm thinking specifically of land speeders and buses.
Well, yeah. Well, we're going to talk about land speeders in a bit here.
Yeah, we're gonna steer the conversation back towards the game too, in which there were no land speeders, but there were certainly Vader and Yoda who were, and Bad Batch, who I think were the 3 most impactful pieces. Like I noticed, and John, you've been doing some analytics work, and we as a team have been looking over some of the stats, and we looked at total wounds dealt, and it was very evident from the total wounds dealt that Bad Batch and Yoda were kicking butt relative to a bunch of other units, and I also wanted to say that Vader too was doing more than his fair share of damage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And he didn't even roll very good.
Yeah, no. His variance, his offense was bad relatively.
His offense was balanced by his defense.
Yeah, his defense was
for sure.
His defense was super hot.
Yeah.
There was round 3.
There was a lot of good defense across the board. I noticed Vader was just tanking shots. There was one great moment. It was fun. My perspective, Dave and I watching, is Brian had set up the standby trap with some Black Sun, which normally you do not want to walk face first into a Black Sun standby. And Bad Batch was trying to get where they wanted to go, but Brian had set it up really well. So there was no way for Bad Batch to get where they wanted to go without tripping the standby. And I was standing there, I'm like, Dave, I think maybe he should just walk right into it. And I'm like, I know that's not normally good advice, but I think maybe he should. And then that was exactly what Jon did. He just took Bad Batch and he's like, all right, let's ball. And he rolled
Yeah,
right
let's
into
ball.
the standby, and
Let's
Bad
go.
Batch tanked it.
Tanked
Not
the whole
a
thing.
single wound. Which
Well,
is
yeah,
crazy.
I
I
think
mean,
they rolled like 3 or 4 hits, and they had to get through cover and the cash dodge. So there
Right.
was like 2 dice that I had to roll.
Right, and
It
then
was
there's the
wild.
impervious, right? So it was Brian, his black sun flubbed the roll a little bit, and then like you said, cover dodge, and then those last 3 hits or whatever, Bad Batch was just like,
It was awesome.
Yeah.
it's gonna
We
take
were
it,
like,
but yeah, it was.
and even like the round before, we were noticing that like to get around the standby trap, it was like we just split off the crosshair rifle and just pinged the standby. And
It felt
like,
so
yeah.
bad.
yeah, it feels bad to just like use your attack on 1 die with
Nah.
Pierce. It just
Yeah.
feels terrible relative to rolling the full pool.
Mm-hmm. Well, and also because I think again the way it was set up, I think even doing 1 move would have triggered the standby. So like I don't think he even could have done the crosshair thing without giving up getting to an objective, which would have been that would have been catastrophic.
Yeah. Yes, you
Because
definitely.
you needed them to score.
I definitely could not get with. Yeah. If I was gonna get into range of the objective that round, I was eating standby. That was for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
There's no better unit practically to eat that than Bad Batch.
Yeah, 11 health
Yeah,
Bad
everyone-
Batch.
Yeah, with 3 surges and dodges and impervious and reds.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and the thing they don't attrition until they take 3 wounds. That's a big deal too. It's like you can take 2 wounds and still be firing at that massive full strength.
Now, something that Jon did that a lot of players don't do is usually they'll put a wound on a wrecker first.
Not
And, like-
Jon knew he wanted to melee.
Yeah,
Sometimes.
exactly. So,
Yes.
so that was something that a lot of players do. They put the wounds on wrecker first, but Jon did not do that. I forget which one you put it on first. I think it was it tech? I forget
Tech.
which one. Yeah, because you knew you weren't going to be moving much, so tactical's a dead keyword. You've already cashed out, so there's no need to keep him around anymore. But you need Wrecker's dice to have a better melee than you
To have
normally
any
do.
melee, really. Like
Or any melee, yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's Bad Batch's big weakness.
yeah. Yeah, I remember Tech and Crosshair died first. I
Right.
had 1 wound and then I took 3 wounds. I don't remember which one took the
Yeah,
first
because
wound.
Tech and Crosshair went down at the same time.
Yeah.
Dave and I missed that when we were casting because we just sort of reflexively assumed that Wrecker dies first, but no, absolutely, it's the correct decision to keep.
I had to make the
Wrecker
decision
around.
if Wrecker was going to die first early.
Yeah, if Rucker died first, then I'm sitting a lot prettier in that melee scrum, and so that was definitely the right choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think the lesson here for the sorry Nathan, the lesson for the Bad Batch players is if you have the foresight, if you envision a situation where you need Wreckers and melee, don't just automatically put wounds on Wrecker because then you're locked in.
Think about
Right,
it,
because you have to continue wounding him until he dies if you put even 1 wound on him.
Or if you're playing against like a buttload of white saves, playing against a buttload of rebels or droids, seriously consider killing Crosshair first, regardless. Like, what do you need the Pierce for?
Yeah, that's a good point.
If you're not
Precise
using
is
Pierce.
cool, but so's more dice.
Yeah.
Yep. And I would say specifically non-surging white saves in particular. It's like your Pierce is, your more dice volume is just going to be better than 1 Pierce because the odds are they're probably going to roll at most 1 block anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, a great game. I think it definitely. There's kind of the one side of the board where we kind of had the showdown between Bad Batch, some Black Sun, and some Dewbacks, and Bad Batch did end up getting chewed up pretty badly, but they did so much damage that they more than punched more than above their weight. Dewback, one Dewback kind of munched on him. One Dewback kind of he held some points, but he struggled to get in and do much Dewback stuff. The other side of the board. Do we even say what the battle cards actually were? We might not have. In case we didn't,
we said recover. We didn't say bring them to heal.
Oh yeah, bring them to heel was a big deal. Yoda was doing all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, with
Vader
a
doing
couple
Master
mind
of
tricks.
Evil. That was a massive thing in deciding the pace of the game. Was Vader doing Master of Evil round 2? And so I'd say where most of the action happened was on the other side of the board. You basically had this trade where Brian dived Vader in pretty aggressively and went after one of John's back points, and then Yoda kind of crisscross went the other side, went pretty aggressively after one of Brian's points. Super interesting back and forth. Both characters exerted massive influence over their corners of the board, and by the end of the game, kind of owned those points. The difference was Yoda came out unscathed. Vader took some damage on the way in, got punched a little bit on the way there, and then when
I don't
Vader
think
was
he took any damage on the way in. He
Oh,
full
yeah,
blocked. He was
maybe
full
not.
blocking until melee. Yeah.
That could be right. He did a lot of full blocking.
So I believe he had a couple of wounds damage,
Good
and then he implacable for 3, and then he got punched by a naked clone for another 3 at one point.
He got 2 wounds somehow before implacable.
I believe that was a counter punch
or a punch or what it was.
Yeah, no, it was punches in melee is what it was.
Yeah.
There were at least like 3 or 4 clone and commando melee punches, and then by the end 2 of them were with Rex shooting into it.
But yeah, that was the big dramatic finish at the end of round 4. Vader's on the point by himself, 2 wounds left behind a wall. The only thing that could see him is Rex, who's suppressed, but he's got relentless, so he swings around the wall, takes the one shot, 3 for 3. He rolls a surge on the cover, but sharpshooter means it gets through, and then 1 block out of the 3. And so Vader went down. That was the moment. That was
that was a big moment.
There's the ball. It's going. It's hitting the lights.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was good.
But it's very, very fun to watch. I thought you guys did definitely both of you leveraged your focus piece as well. They both exerted a lot of influence. We talked a bit in the segment that is that's for members only. We talked a little bit about some specific tactics that would have been interesting. And I know, Brian, you talked a little bit about maybe some other possibilities, ways to use Vader. But the way it rolled out was very interesting, very fun to watch. Both those characters definitely did a lot of work. Watching Yoda swing for 7 red because of Call Me Captain,
great.
and then for 4 more. Always
dumping 11 hits into a target. Yeah.
It was sick.
Yeah.
That was so sick. And then a Hunter knife just popping off that game.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. 4 for 4 Hunter
4
knife.
for 4.
Yeah.
Dang.
I mean, multiple
That was
times.
a third of the Bad Batch damage was Hunter.
It was Hunter knife.
Yeah.
Crazy.
How many times did you pick up an entire activation with Hunter knife? It was at least twice.
Yeah.
A third time was putting a wound on Black Sun when they already had 2 on stims. So the knife was the last thing I did to kill them.
Yeah.
But they still were on delayed damage.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
God, Bad Batch is so good. As a bonus, I get force choke on a coin flip.
Riot Scouts.
Oh. And
I knifed that Black Sun twice.
Yeah.
Just to try, because they couldn't kill.
Rough.
Dang.
But
I love how you feel bad about playing standing orders round 1, but have no problem playing Bad Batch.
Yeah.
Well, he wasn't saying he feels guilty. He's saying he doesn't.
No guilt. There's no guilt.
Zero guilt. I just don't like it.
No. Yeah.
Because he wishes it was better.
It's a waste.
He wishes he had a 4-pip that gave him full order control.
Or anything.
Yeah.
I don't get full order control. I get 2 turns of decent order control. All right.
Can I just pop in here and say that speaking of order control, Rex 3 on round 1.
Yeah.
Crazy good.
Yeah.
Plus the luminous follow-up.
Yeah, it was great.
That juices commandos so hard. It is
So
crazy good.
Yeah, that's 6 free aim tokens.
Yeah.
Why don't you want 6 free aim tokens?
Yeah, that is so much juice to give commandos they just nail targets at range 4 with that.
When you have Delta around too?
Yeah.
That's 8 free aim tokens.
Whew.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of aims.
Yeah. If I could afford Delta, they'd be in there. but
Amen.
can't afford them.
Yeah.
I'm not going to drop a medic for them.
No, I wouldn't drop a medic for them either.
No. No, I was gonna say, if for some reason you listen to the segment but you still haven't watched the game yet, even though you know the ending, at the score at the end of round 4 was 11-11.
Yeah.
That doesn't. If that alone does not tell you how interesting the game was, let that speak for itself. 11-11 at the end of round 4.
Yeah. It was 11-11, and the secondary mattered enormously.
Enormously.
Yeah.
It was
It's
so
like
painful.
3-4, then 8-8, then 11-11.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. And that was all due to the secondary. There was like a secondary catch up, and then that's something that I really like about the secondary is that they have those clawback mechanics.
Yeah,
you can sort of claw your way back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I need to go through like at some point. This is like just thinking aloud. I could make a table of like objective combinations, like primary secondary combos.
Mm-hmm.
Where you have like all the primaries and you have all the secondaries, and you like rate them for ease of clawback if you fall behind.
Okay.
Because there's some that have like almost zero clawback if you fall behind. Like the ones I can think of are like recon mission, recover the research. There's almost no clawback. Like once you fall behind, it's really hard to get back on the horse.
Like,
you try to kill their recon unit at the end of a round, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Or no, recon scores when they activate, don't they?
At the end of their activation, yeah.
No, but you have to secure their. Is that the one where you can secure theirs?
No,
that's surface skin.
Surface skin is a great clawback.
That's got a clawback.
You get a 3-point swing on that one.
Yeah, surface has a huge clawback, and destroy enemy base, massive clawback.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Destroy enemy base is its own primary. Almost.
Yeah, 4-point swing. It's almost its own
you
primary.
Can completely punt on the primary, but you're like, I'm going to score the secondary, and if you can actually do that, feel free punt on the primary.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's some, like I said, there's some combos where it's like really easy, and others where it's like almost impossible, depending on the circumstances.
Yep, and you definitely want to think about that going into the game. You want to think about, okay, for these objectives, how easy are these to claw back from? What's required to do that? How well am I able to do that? And then if so, that tells you how much you have to prioritize early scoring, because there are some objectives where you can allow your opponent to take a lead against you early, as long as they're not getting to 12, right? But you can allow them to take a lead against you early if you can trade that for attrition and then score later. Others, you cannot do that.
Shifting priorities is a great option for what you're just saying.
Yeah, shifting priorities, example numero uno. I think close the pocket is another one too.
Why shifting priorities?
You can let them take the middle on like round 2 if you're planning to then tie it round 3 and then take it round 4. Because if you let them run out into the middle and you can just destroy them on attrition, sometimes that's the way to do it.
So, John, you asked about shifting priorities.
Yeah.
It's because you can bring things to you. You can allow you can push certain objectives off to limit their ability for units to affect the game. So I can take their corner ones and throw them way out, and I can take the middle one and bring it closer to me. And now I'm fighting with more units than they are anymore because they have to use those 2 units to chase those.
You could split them. You could part the sea and be like, all right, you 2 go that way, you 2 come to me.
Exactly.
I gotcha.
Yeah, and so then you can claw back that way and win on attrition, like Nathan was saying.
Mm-hmm. Yep, like sort of a simple for another way to think about it for those at home is like, imagine you've both got range 3 units. You can both shoot each other. You're both 1 movement away from this objective. If your opponent moves your stuff onto the middle point, his stuff onto the middle point and shifting, and so your opponent's move shooting, you can stand there and you can aim and shoot. So you're getting more out of your shots, right? But then at the end of the round, guess what happens? You move the thing towards you. So now your guys are on it, right? And so that's like a really simple contrived example, but it makes the point. You can have, if you're not making the effort to move on to it round 2, whatever you're doing, you're getting better action economy round 2, and in theory can leverage that to get good attrition. And then you can make sure you're scoring right from round. In
theory, you're getting move actions by moving their priority, and and making them spend more move actions.
Exactly.
So
Right. So you
That
can
is a
sit there
brilliant
and
way to
aim
put it.
shoot at them twice, and they're going to have to move
In theory.
shoot twice.
Yeah.
Right. Obviously. In
Yeah,
theory.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're getting yourself. Yeah, exactly. You're getting yourself better action economy, basically.
You're kind of like bidding for control in a way with your actions, if that makes sense.
Ooh.
Because it's like the person who moves on to grab it first is then going to have to suffer the penalty because it moves away from them.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But
And
again,
there's-
that's like. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say there's lists that are designed to bum rush, right? And so they know that that's what you want to do, and they're like, yeah, I don't care, I'm going to win on round 4 anyway. And so you have to like put the pressure on me, or otherwise I just win. And so there are lists that are specifically designed to handle that. A lot of rebel lists are fine with that kind of stuff, right? And but it's all depending on your strategy.
Yep. Got to think about your strategy, and then you got to compare that to what your opponent's doing. You got to think, is it going to be better for me to try to score as aggressively as possible, or is it going to be better for me to trade them getting an early lead for getting some attrition? And knowing, for example, how easily the secondary allows you to come back, sometimes that's a big deal. If it's a secondary that's, you guys played Bring the Heel, or Bring Them to Heel is an interesting one because you can, in scoring it, you can deny your opponent scoring, right? Because there's almost like this mini game where only one person can get it around. I have played games where I gave up on the primary the entire time. It was shifting, and I'd be like, okay, I'm going to let my opponent score 3 out of 5 on shifting every round, but I'm going to Bring Them to Heel every round.
I have done that kind of
and
thing.
I'm going to beat them on attrition while I'm doing
You
that.
balance it by the secondary so that you're
Right.
even scoring,
Right.
and then to gain something else like that, like attrition.
So
Yep.
this is demonstrating very much so the importance of like knowing like the maximum possible points per round and the sources, and like having that knowledge kind of to hand, because when you're in the game situation, and like if you're playing and like say, because I'm thinking about, I got, humble brag, I got invited to the Invitational at LVO, and I'm going to be playing under a clock. So I'm thinking about like, playing under a clock. Am I going to have to like spend my clock time looking at the objective, doing the math in my head, or should I just study up and know kind of like off the top of my head, okay, well, on round such and such, there's 3 points possible here. How can I divvy these points up favorably? It's sort of like for players who are like learning the game still, and going from like 101 to 102 competitively. This is the kind of stuff that people have in their heads, and they're thinking about like, how am I divvying up the points that are available every round? And that's really, really crucial to like remember that as you play. And just kind of tags along with the discussion of like, well, if I can afford to give it the primer, like what risk can I take here? And the answer is, well, if I don't have to take a risk, I shouldn't, because I'm going to like give away shots, or I'm going to waste actions, or I'm going to end up in that situation. And so I think what Nathan and John are saying is really important for everyone to understand, that like based on what points, how easily you're going to score the points that are available, you can sort of lean back a little bit and say, okay, I don't have to be in such a hurry. I don't have to attack, or I don't have to take this move, because if I do it, I'm exposing myself to enemy fire or some other negative outcome.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, should we plug the next exhibition match that is happening?
100%. So we have another exhibition on the 10th of September. It's going to be at night, and when are we starting? Are we going to start at 7 or 8 or what?
Good
It's up to you.
question.
We started at 9. Did we start at 9 Eastern last time?
Yeah. Nine,
Okay.
9 is if you guys are going to play on Wednesdays, 9 is much more doable for me.
Okay, let's do it. Let's do 9 o'clock Eastern.
Easier for me too, because I'm out a little further west. Go any earlier than 7 starts to get a little tricky.
Yeah, so we'll do Wednesday the 10th, 9 Eastern, and it'll be me versus Nathan. I'm going to be playing Shadow Collective, so I'm going to bring Maul, because Maul is amazing. He's really, really good. And then Nathan, I believe you're going to do something like Ahsoka and maybe some Rebel agents.
Yep, I'm bringing Ahsoka, and I'm bringing all the customs I can fit in with Ahsoka. I wanna try out all three of the different weapon I want to try out all three of the different weapon profiles. I don't know how effectively the list will actually leverage each of them, but that's the idea.
How many thermal detonators are bringing?
And that was the question I was going to ask.
I actually don't have any in the list right now, which I need.
Fix.
I literally don't have points for it. I'll squeeze it in somehow. I probably
You
will
can
only be
squeeze
one.
it in.
I will only be one though. Don't hate me. Well, because okay, you were the only one on the guy that has Arsenal too.
I'm like in shock.
You don't need it on the other guys.
It's
You just want it on the dude that has Arsenal too.
I don't know, man.
Like the dude that has like the big 6-die gun. Why is he bringing a thermal detonator?
Because he has a big 6-die gun and they're going to want
Impact
to melee
four.
him.
But he's not going to be at range
Also.
1. Like I'm taking
He's
that
gonna
guy
be at melee.
specifically not to be at close range.
No,
Sure,
I can see it not being on the guy with the repeater.
But you're like,
It's 3
you're
points.
banking on your opponent not having like a Yoda or a Vader or a Op Luke who wants to dive on a point where he is at.
Yeah, because none of those want to see a thermal detonator in their face, right?
Yeah,
4 red dice.
I
Like,
guess.
that is quite the
purely
deterrent
for the
3
sake of the
points.
demonstration, I'll probably make the points to squeeze them in there.
And he has Maul. Maul doesn't want to see a thermal detonator.
Yeah.
Does Maul want to see a thermal detonator, David?
Not all the time, but it's not as bad as people think.
Oh, okay.
Because Maul has cunning and he can dodge, and then he has a fray surge, so it's like, and he has the heal.
It's not that terrifying.
It's not. It's not so terrifying. It's like
It is, but that's the thing is it's one time for 3 points.
yeah, that's the
It's
thing.
cheap. It's cheap.
It's
It's
3
so
points, man.
it's
Like,
so
you should
cost
have-
effective.
I mean, on the dude with Arsenal 2, it's stapled because that's like practically a Boba Fett flamer shot, right?
Oh yeah,
Because it's 5 red and a white with Pierce, because you should certainly have an aim when you do it.
oh
So
man,
that's
now I'm
great.
gonna start building lists with like triple flamer, agent, and din. Oh my gosh.
The guy with the axe, I put the axe, spoiler for this, I'm putting the axe on the dude that has tactical and spur. I'm not going to be using the thermal detonator on the axe guy. He's going to be charging in with 2 aims and the same number of dice, but with Pierce.
Yeah.
Why would I use a thermal detonator?
Fair.
And then, yeah.
I mean, the Arsenal. You bring the gun with the Arsenal, like the Arsenal gun. If you can get him in melee, you want to get him in melee because 4 red, 3 black in melee, Pierce 1, or with lethal.
Oh yeah, right. That guy's great.
That is
great
a
in melee
lightsaber.
as well.
Like that's a lightsaber for 3 points.
I got a
Okay.
game in versus Rayan. Okay, I don't know if you all know who Rayan is.
Yeah.
But Rayan, I mean, we all know. Our audience may not know who Rayan is. He was like was like top 4 in Vader League or something like that recently. And I forget exactly. I don't remember who won last season, but I know he was up there.
Zaw won, and
Zaw
Rain
won.
played in Elims.
Yeah, Rayan was in
Oh,
Elam.
Za in disguise, I think.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
Matt
Yeah.
He was in
the
disguise.
Gray Fox.
You could say he was
Legion.
masked.
He's been unmasked. Yeah. So the reason I bring him up is because I played against the triple thermal detonator and Ahsoka because Swift Protector is nuts
Oh,
with the agents.
you're spoiling my entire game plan here.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, I know your tricks. But man, the ability of like this semi-cheap unit to just like hit you in the face with a thermal detonator blaster shot and do it after you've gone with everything. and it's like you can't really avoid it if you want to stand on a POI. Like that's the problem I have with it. Not that it exists. Yeah, it's 3 points. Yeah, that's probably two little points. But it's the fact that they can obtain last so easily.
Rebels
That's where my issue is with it. And because I call it on reaction, which is like just being able to react to everything your opponent's doing because you have the ability to go last. Sometimes you go last multiple times because you have, say, the 2-pip, like Battlefield Reconnaissance. Or say you have 14 to their 9, you're going to go last quite a bit in that circumstance.
You have 14 to their 9, and you have reconnaissance.
And you have Battlefield Reconnaissance on top of it, and it's like round 3.
That's just mean.
So different.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
good. Yeah. Well, if you guys want to see me use all these busted rebel units and still get throttled by David,
don't sell yourself short, Nathan.
I'll use all the new busted units and still get destroyed by Shadow.
My Black Sun Mando skew. Yeah.
September 10th.
September 10th. All right.
Next
Only on
Wednesday
Wonder
at
Woman
9 p.m. Eastern. There's no confusion about that time. We all knew it. It was locked in.
Wednesday.
That's right.
In the blue corner.
Yeah.
With 13 activations.
Oh my God, it's Nicholson with a thermal detonator.
Oh man, okay. Well, all right, I'll
He's getting minor Tom.
just so you guys can do that on the stream. It'll be a good time. It's fun having people show up and comment and give their hot takes. And
Hey, you're gonna have to listen to me and Brian this next time.
Yeah.
We get to heckle you guys.
Yeah, you get to heckle us.
Yeah. You gotta get to look at what we're doing and be like, actually, they should.
Yeah, interesting. Actually, I would do this.
A suboptimal choice.
Yeah.
Was made.
I think he'll do this, but no, he won't. He's a noob.
He doesn't even see this guy sneaking up.
Yeah, he's bad to get.
Yeah.
He forgot he has thermal detonators.
Yeah.
Actual footage from next week.
Didn't even aim shoot SMH.
Didn't even aim shoot.
Yeah. 2 aims of the Black Suns, didn't remember he had precise.
Oof.
No targeting scopes. What a noob.
I think I definitely forgot at least 2 or 3 commando rerolls for being on the objectives. What was that card? Definitely 2 or 3. And you guys didn't catch it either.
No, we didn't catch it.
I rewatched.
We never thought about it.
Yeah, oops.
Like, oh dang.
Dang.
I remember doing the reroll against Vader in melee, but those first 3 volleys, at least one of them, they were in range of the objective, and I didn't spend the reroll.
Dang.
Whoops, a daisy.
I know. Failed.
6 points down the drain.
Sorry, I let you guys
18
down.
points down the drain.
Yeah,
no, just
flushing.
I mean, to be honest, that commando unit shouldn't even been alive after Vader's first swing. So whatever.
It was a different commando.
Oh.
The other 2 commandos. That first commando, yeah, it was dead. Should have been dead.
Yeah, that guy. Yeah.
But the other 2 that weren't by Vader, yeah, they were shooting.
Yeah.
So I want to maybe roll a little bit into Brian's GenCon win because we haven't even talked about it. We're reaching way into the back of the fridge and getting that lettuce out of the crisper drawer to talk
Not
about.
so crisp anymore.
It's all frozen because it's in the back.
Yeah, it's got like the ice crystals on it.
Old news.
So you actually won GenCon, which is awesome, right? You played.
Hey!
Yay! There you go.
I don't have to play at the first day of Worlds. That's nice.
Sick.
That is.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wait, how far do you advance?
I am automatically in day 2.
How many? Oh, that's cool. How many people play day 2? How does that work?
I have no idea.
Nobody knows?
I imagine 64, but
Yeah, they just said anybody who has won a GT automatically gets into day 2.
Oh, dang.
go win a GT.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really
Win a
so.
GT.
It seems
Not
like
that
it's
hard.
not being talked about. I was talking with Mike Berry about it just recently, and he's like, so we get like a bye the first round of Worlds or something like that, and I was like, no, man, we get the whole day off. And he's like, what? And he looks up, he's like, holy crap, we don't even have to play the first day. He's like, we're just in day 2, and it's like, yeah, and he's like, how do people not know about this? I didn't know about this. I was like, I don't know, man.
So, I don't know.
I remember when it came out and people were like, wait, is this what we think it is? And there was like some hesitancy, but I remember it did get cleared up that, yeah, it's the whole day.
Yep.
So I guess certain people are just allowed to cheat. All right, that's good to know. Good to know.
Whatever it takes, man. All right.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
We care about winning around here.
The
Yeah,
cheat
we need
phase
to-
never ends.
We need a
Yeah.
world championship under the Winter Moon
Oh,
belt.
that's true.
we
That's
do.
true. Yeah, because we
got who was that guy in the top 4 last year?
I don't even know.
I know,
I don't
Brian.
know.
What happened, man?
I don't know.
We were supposed to get it first, and you lost to
Remains
Trent.
unnamed.
Trent?
He lost to Trent of all people.
Trent's a great
Come on,
great opponent. It's fun to have him in the basement pretty regularly to play.
And then he lost to ISPs.
You know
Yeah.
what? He
You didn't even lose to the winner.
it is a sore spot. I can't harass Trent too much about it. I can see it in his eyes every time I bring it up. It's like, you know, Trent. I was like, if you're gonna beat me, like you might as well freaking go on and win it because I was gonna beat Isaiah, maybe.
You're right.
And you can just see it in his eyes, like, I know.
We're just dropping all the tea this episode.
It's great.
Yeah.
man.
It's
No,
great.
I
No,
mean
Trent-
there were some people that lost to the Brits and on day 2. We don't need to rag on those people.
What was that
Yeah.
one? You?
I mean, they're scrubs anyway, right?
Yeah.
Oof.
I lost to AJST. You got a team
Ow.
killing me because one of my Wampa Squadron buddies took him out the year before, and then we played. And I was
It was
like, "Oh, one
revenge.
of my friends knocked you out last year," and then he proceeded
Yeah.
to destroy me. It was not close. Not
Yeah,
not
the,
a clean enemy.
The Arizona guys were all watching our exhibition game, Brian, because they all were still like had PTSD from you destroying them at LVO or at something recently.
Oh, really? When did
Yeah.
I
Get
play
it,
them?
John.
I don't know,
Where-
but
where
they were calling it out.
Who was it? Who I don't know. It was probably Invader
Probably Invader, yeah.
because I don't get
Or
out.
no, you also came out to Arizona and just like showed
Oh,
up
yeah.
one night and just
I
like
did.
whooped on some kids.
That's it. I did.
Yeah.
Bears gotta
That's
eat.
right.
Yeah, yeah. Bears gotta eat.
The bear went hunting in Arizona.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was there for a work conference, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Hey, where's the game store that you play at, John?" And John's like, "Oh man, go to this game store. Here's the Discord. You can contact guys." And it was good. It was good.
It's like you ever see those like child chess prodigies that are playing like 8 grandmasters at once.
Oh my
And
yes,
Brian's like
yes.
playing everyone from the store. He's got 6 Legion games going. He just
Yeah.
goes around taking turns activating, wins all of them.
We'll get Brian into doing what they call it's called a blind simul, where they do a simultaneous, yeah, where he like literally with a blindfold on, they tell you the numbers and the things.
No, I'll be honest, guys. It was like 3 years ago. I actually played 2 games at the same time in a basement because there's 3 of us, and we didn't want to do a 3-way game because that's
I
weird.
did it once.
Yeah.
And I got destroyed. Like it was like you cannot focus on 2 games of Legion at the same. Oh, sorry,
You can't.
sorry. Let me clarify. I cannot focus
Okay.
on 2 games of Legion at the same time. It was
The rest
it
of us
was,
do that all the time, Brian. The rest
it
of us
was-
do
it
that
was
regularly and win, right? Don't
Yeah.
try to act like
I don't get what the big deal is.
yeah. Teach me your ways.
Yeah.
John and I will play each other 3
Yeah.
games going at once. It's all against each other.
Yeah, we're
That's
playing right now. Just on the
awesome. We're playing right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
just,
John
in another
just
window.
one-shotted my Black Sun.
Yeah. I mean,
So
they
yeah,
thought they
so-
could take Bad Batch. They just never learned.
Not again. Not again.
No.
So there's some good nuggets though that I took from GenCon is that I would say is bring a list that's ready for the meta and also know the type of players that you're going to be playing against, right? Know the local. Like if you're going to a DT in a local area, know what they like to play in the local area, because normally, so like when going in Gen Con, like 80% of my lists, I think I mentioned this before, or 80% of my games were like what's it, intercept signals. Like I play that so often, and I play close the pocket almost like a ton. Like those are by far my most played objectives. And knowing that I'm playing as droids and a whole crap load of rebels, is I played a lot of breakthrough and a lot of shifting priorities at GenCon. And I think I played 3 of each, and I didn't play any other objectives. And so it was important to be able to know that was kind of what I was going to be expecting. And so I have a list that could handle that really well. So,
nice.
Yeah.
Now, can we talk about certainly that's a good point. Now, obviously, there's going to be some situations where you might not be rolling up at a tournament. You might not know what the local meta is. Maybe it's your first one, right? There's a host of reasons you might not know what's going on. Clearly, there was more to your list than that. Could you talk about what are some of the things you thought about maybe that were like meta calls, but what were some of the things that were like, this is just what my list is doing, like this is my goal with this list? Could you talk to us about that?
Yeah So I really like playing Force users. That's my favorite thing in the world, right? Op Luke is my favorite thing in the world. He's my jam. He's my crush. I like Op Luke. So, right. But the thing is that people in the local meta started to get they knew what to expect when they would play against me, and they knew how activation count was starting to get pretty important, especially against land speeders, against Luke. Because when I went to Worlds, I was playing double land speeder Op Luke 12x, and I beat Trent's list like 4 times in a row before getting into Worlds. When we got to Worlds, Trent had changed his list to be from 11x to 12, and then he knew that we were going to. When he and I played, we both played standing orders round 1. He won the roll off, and his aquas were able to really zone out my land speeders, because land speeders, as awesome as they are super squishy. So that like the players locally knew that they wanted to start increasing their act counts to prevent the damage that could be done to them with the list that I was running. And so I knew that was part of why a lot of people were increasing their activation counts. They'd won up. A lot of players that were playing traditional 13x or 12x had gone up to 13 or 14. And I knew that. And so I knew that I wanted to go to 14, and I didn't have the right list. I've got a 14 act Op Luke list now, but I didn't have it then. And so, yeah. And so I took Op Luke out, and I just loaded it with as much dice as I could and as many threat saturation. And you said something earlier, Nathan. You said built-in redundancy, which I had a lot of in this list, because I had triple ATRT flamethrowers with hacked comms, which was really, really, really great call. And then I had the double land speeders that were loaded to the gills. I had 3 fleets and like 2 rebel troopers, and then triple sleeper cell. Is that all of them?
That's 13. Did you have another core in there?
I had 4 fleets.
Okay, another fleet. Okay, that sounds right. Yeah,
Yeah.
only 3 fleets. I was like, are we sure you made this list?
Yeah. So it was 4.
Brian's list has 3 fleets.
Right. I know. Yeah. And so it's just a ton of built-in redundancy. Like I could throw flamers out on wings. I could have them backed up by sleeper cell and a couple of fleets with astromechs to keep them healthy, and not necessarily to keep them healthy. Honestly, to take their damage token off was more important. But for the flamer RT, it's going to die, so you just need you need those double actions. And so having a fleet with astromech behind it, with the sleeper cell behind it, like that's a crazy strong flank. 1 ATRT flamethrower, 1 sleeper cell, 1 fleet with an astromech. Like they have to dedicate way too much to that flank than they want to. And then you can put the others wherever the heck you want.
Yeah.
And
So with this setup that you have, you just went through. Obviously, you got a lot of weapons. Many of the things are squishy, but the squishy things, with the exception of the land speeders, the squishy things are pretty cheap.
Yeah,
For
super
the
cheap.
most part. I mean, basically everything's cheap. I mean, even the land speeders are not that expensive, or they're not like force
No.
users or anything. So why did you feel that it was so important to have a high activation count with this list? Because because we know there are obviously some lists that do very well that do not have high activation counts, like the
Mhm.
6-act Republic Menace, right? With like Yoda. And we saw Jon do very well at the exhibition match with what you had, like 9 activations,
Yeah.
Jon, right? But much lower. So with your list, what's the difference? Why would your list not have worked at a lower activation count?
I wanted to make sure that I went last with the land speeder.
And why is that so important?
Because I can choose where it goes. I can choose what it double taps. I can choose. I can have unanswered shots. So front loading damage in 2.6 is really important, and R5 Astromech on the land speeder does that really well, and not necessarily really well into regular units. It does it really well into armor, and so it does great into crabs. It does great into aquas, which I knew were going to be popular. Does great into other land speeders. It does great into air speeders, which I don't know if you guys know Ty, Captain Nita. He got 5th at Worlds, and he runs a really mean double land speeder list. He's bullied me in my own basement a couple of times, and with that double land speeder double air speeder list, and I didn't like it, and so I wanted to make sure that he wasn't going to bully me.
I can see how double land speeder would make double air speeder very sad.
Yes.
Which doesn't necessarily sound like it makes sense, but that's how it plays out in Legion.
Makes sense to me. It's range 4, easy to hide, costs a little less.
Yeah, that short silhouette.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you're not really gonna hide from an air speeder, but
that's true.
No, but
yeah,
it's too fast.
The double tap and the ion is like really huge.
Yeah,
the ion's the big thing.
Yeah,
the double ion.
Because but PSA, if you're running ion weapons and you're rubbing your hands together, going, "Oh boy, every one of my ion shots is gonna stop up an opponent's action. Let me burst your bubble." Every time you're playing a game, I'm about to exaggerate, but it feels true. Every time you're playing a game and you have a single ion weapon and something really important hinges on you stopping your opponent's vehicle or droid or whatever with one ion token, they will pull it off.
every time.
You have to have 2. You have to have 2. Just so, yeah, double tapping
of the time, every time.
Yep.
Yeah. And sometimes they'll even roll 2 off.
Yeah, sometimes they roll 2. They'll hit that.
Happens 11% of the time.
11%,
yeah.
Which is not 0.
Yeah.
Feels terrible.
I'll take that gamble.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely rather be on the 89% side than the 11% side.
Yeah. I guess. If I had to choose, I mean.
Yeah, it's close. It's close. But
it's close.
I got lucky at Worlds 2 years ago playing against Krzysztof from Poland. I don't remember his last name, but I won an award for not even killing a unit.
and winning without killing.
Winning the game.
This was Legacy Legion though. This had to
it was Legacy Legion. It was KP, but I had one fleet model with 2 suppression, and he double rolled both of them off, and I was able to double move on to the point and win the game.
Oh wow!
It was so
tilted.
I know. Yeah.
Didn't kill one stinking unit. It's terrible.
So tilted.
Oh man,
that's hilarious. Yep. It definitely.
And you wonder why they don't like us Americans.
I know.
Yeah, man. You weren't helping our international standing in the world by
No.
doing
I know
such
it
a
was
thing.
terrible. I played I played 3 Polish players that Worlds, and I won all 3 of them.
Oh man.
Yeah, Brian Bear single-handedly damaging U.S.-Poland relations.
They're awesome. They're all awesome dudes. Though.
Yeah.
They had these sweet Japanese art Star Wars
Oh.
command cards.
I got one of those.
Yeah. I got
Nice.
3 sets of them. They're so cool.
That's sick.
Dude,
Nice.
they look amazing.
I'll pat myself on the back here, but it's relevant. The best I have ever done at Worlds was not this most recent, but the one before that, when I made it to the top 8 game, and I played Oscar, who had just won the Polish national champion. That was possibly the closest Legion game of my entire life, and he won at the end. It was this insane game of hostage. The start of the last round, neither of us had a hostage. If that tells you the kind of wild game this was, but he was a blast of an opponent to play. Just like very dialed in, very competitive, but still very like relaxed. Like he was fun to play. But even though he was very, very nice and very polite, even though he was still very focused and very intense, just absolute pleasure. And then
That's good.
and he ended up winning by that tiny razor's edge of it was like 17 kill points or something
Gosh.
stupid like that.
Yeah, Oscar's
yeah.
a stud, man. He's way good.
Yeah, he's really good. So yeah, if he's definitely if a lot of the other players around are like that, then are like Oscar, then I can imagine they're all very, very fun to play.
Mm. Yeah. I would love to see something similar to Hostage come back to Legion.
Apparently, it is.
That'd be cool.
What?
That's what they told us at Worlds. They leaked a little bit to us at
Huh?
Worlds. They said that hostage exchange and payload might be making a comeback in some form. Maybe not as a primary.
So
Maybe
I love
maybe a secondary.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, I could see hostage working as a secondary.
Yeah. So, me too.
That'd be sick.
as much
It-
as I
it is-
love hostage, it is very much a check on do you have force push or do you not. Like
At
if
least
you have force
the
push, it
original
is
version.
yeah,
So
it's
what?
like an auto win. with force push.
What was that?
Who cares?
Who cares?
Brian, you just won a GT with.
They're gonna up it to 60 points, Brian. Like we can't do this to my. I can't pay 250 points for Yoda. I can't.
We used to do it all the time.
I know,
I
but
don't
I
think
can't.
it'd be as much
not
of a
anymore.
check if it was a secondary. But
It
like,
depends on the
how
points.
they. I mean,
Yeah.
depends on how they implement it.
Some
It
of
could
these
be-
secondaries feel like primaries with how many points they are, right?
Oh,
some
yeah.
of it- yeah, exactly. It all depends.
Yeah, the secondary transforms into the primary because
How many points can you get off bring them to heal? You get 4 points off the passive and another 4 points from the other two.
Yeah, there's 8 possible points you
What?
can score. That's a lot.
That's a lot. When the thing is, your
And
4
how many
points-
points to win?
12.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
point.
that's good.
Yeah.
Dang. Okay.
Dang.
Well, so to totally just wind it back
Mic
to
drop.
Brian's, totally wind it back to Brian's list here, which we had talking about. I'm curious how you feel about this, because when we were talking about this episode, we were talking about threat saturation lists.
Yeah.
Would you describe your list as a threat saturation list?
Absolutely.
what
Okay.
is your list again?
It's
I'll be the decider of that.
It's triple ATRT flamethrowers, triple
Oh, yeah.
sleeper cell,
Okay,
double land
yeah.
speeder,
4
and then-
fleets and 2 rebels, right?
four fleets with astromechs, and 2 naked rebels.
So for you, what defines a
Yeah,
threat
yeah.
saturation list, and why does your list fit this
So a
description?
threat saturation list is something that your opponent can't ignore. So the units that your opponent can't ignore, right? And so if you've got like you can't ignore flamer ATRTs if you have any Geonosians or Or actually, to be honest, like I don't think
You
you
need
can
white
ignore,
save core.
you can't ignore a flamer ATRT in general anyway. Like in any of your units.
In like
Yeah,
most contexts,
there are
you can.
specific units that are not scared of a flame or ATRT, but every list is going to have something that does not
Well,
want to get attacked by
Well,
that.
about
Yeah.
clones.
Yeah, I mean, well, even so, like, you know, you never want to roll like 8 to 10 saves.
No, you
Nobody wants to do
Right.
that. Even if you have a red surge, you
Yep.
know.
Yeah.
I
I mean,
don't ever want to do that. Like I use Black Suns with Magdets, right? Flamers are technically not a thing for me because I can just one tap them theoretically.
Yeah.
Get really close to one tapping them.
Yeah.
But you know, again, like if they get priority on me and I have to roll 8 saves, like I might lose 3 dudes even with a surge token. That's
Right.
terrible.
You have, if you got Bad Batch and you're shooting my 75 point ATRT, or you're not, and you're not. If you're not, then you're going to be rolling 8 to 9 saves, and Bad Batch doesn't like doing that.
Yeah, the volume is really the key, right?
I'll just
it
spend
overwhelms the save.
clairvoyance on Bad Batch, you know, it's fine.
Right. Nice.
I want to play with John's rules.
I know.
Yeah, man. I want
No,
clairvoyance
these
on
are
the
for John
Mandalorians.
only. These are,
Oh darn! Well, that's how you won game number 2 on TTS that we're playing right now.
yeah.
That's how you
Yeah.
okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
No,
no,
yeah, so-
that's the threat saturation. Is that the sleeper cell you have to deal with, the ATRTs you have to deal with, and you can't just ignore the land speeders because they're going to get on points that you don't want them to. They're going to stop things from moving that you need to move, or they're going to nuke something that you don't want nuked. You know.
So have we drawn a line? Like, is it like 8 or 10 dice where it starts to become a threat? Could we say that? Like attack dice?
Versus red, maybe.
Because like
Depends
sleeper
on the
cell
color
are
of the
throwing 12,
dice, it depends on
ATRTs are
keywords.
throwing 8 to 20. You know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how reliably you can put like
call
a
it 8
dice cap, because it also, frankly, may depend on the game. There may be some games where, depending on what your opponent has, something you have is a threat or something you have is not a threat. Right?
Yeah.
It made it, which is not applying at the list building stage, obviously. But I think it's like the general idea is that, like, if I don't deal with this unit, it's going to cause a problem for me. Like, that's when something's a threat. Well, and frankly,
Right, but
we
like,
think
why?
of it in
That's what I was
offense.
trying to wonder.
Like,
Yeah.
I would argue that even something like a naked bus can be a threat if we're talking about if we're talking about objectives, right?
Right.
Sometimes there's situations. I know that's not traditionally how you would talk about threat saturation, but when we're talking about things that you can't ignore, which can play into something like this, if the idea is my bus is going to do something that's going to alter the game by double moving on an objective or whatever, and you've now introduced a situation where your opponent has to deal with that, or there are big consequences. That's part of the math and threat saturation, I feel like.
So I just want to tag along to this point is like threat saturation is not, I agree, it's not strictly based on dice thrown. It is more like if I don't kill his bus, he's going to get 3 aims on his sleepers potentially, and all those sleepers have targeting scopes. Or the bus is going to pull in front of a unit of sleepers that I wanted to shoot, but I could no longer shoot. Like there's all kinds of like non-combat related or like tangential, you know, angles or like
I mean,
things like
those
that.
are like the bus is a problem, but it seems weird to call it a threat. You know,
Fair.
Yeah, I would think of it more for scoring is the situation where I'd call it a threat. If it's like going to double move onto your back point or something.
Right. If a land speeder is not going to shoot,
victory point,
but instead triple
like,
move. Yeah.
Right. It's like it's threatening my VPs, like potentially. I agree. Traditionally, when we talk about threats, most of the time we're talking about something that's going to kill your units.
Right.
Exactly.
So,
yeah. When I usually talk about threat saturation, I usually and when I can think of threat saturation of things I'm playing against, I'm usually along the same lines as John of what's going to hurt me, what's going to hurt my units that I need.
Right. And I highlight the second angle only because, so for example, a piece like Yoda, right? You can have some kind of a threat saturation list where Yoda is one of the threats. He's not always throwing lots of dice, but he can do a lot of things that cause problem. Even on his luminous turn, I can push you. I can mind trick, right? There's like Yoda's going to be a problem, right? And so if there's several things that are all problems and you throw them all at your opponent all at the same time, I feel like that's the idea of that we're talking about when we say threat saturation.
The biggest mistake players make that like it's like the easiest win ever is when they throw only like 2 of them at you, and then they throw the next 2. It's like, all right,
Right.
well,
It gets fed through like a funnel, and you're like, well,
yeah.
I'm just
It's
gonna
like
delete these one
old
by one.
early players with the speeders. Why everyone hated playing speeders so much, because they would trickle them in, and then
Yep.
No,
all at once. It's terrifying, but
that was the
one
first
by one.
lesson I learned playing Empire was bike trains, man.
yeah.
Yep. You got to get them all.
All bike train. Yep.
Tauntauns, get them all in there at once.
Mhm.
Same thing.
And so with your list, Brian, is that something how would you actually execute that? So you got 14 activations. I would say at least at least 8 of those are threats with the capital T. We're talking about flamer ATRTs, speeders, sleepers. You've also got the fleets, which are not nothing. They throw, to John's point, dice volume is something you have to think about. They throw 8 dice, even if they're surging white. You can't just ignore a shot from a fleet. You can't just be like, oh, I'm cool taking a full fleet shot. I don't have to think about it. Right.
Yeah.
So you got between 8 to 12 units that your opponent's like, I don't want to get attacked by that. So how do you execute getting all of them in at the same time? Because that's a lot. That's a lot to
It
do.
is. Yeah. So I would keep things back really far, round 1, and use my land speeders as like kind of threat ranges. Like I would take put both my land speeders on one side, hit something, but I wouldn't double tap. And then that kind of discourages my opponent to deploy where those things are going to get double tapped. They're like, okay, well, let's put this stuff over here. And that allows me to, it gave me so much room for all of my shorter range stuff to get where they need to get to at the end of round 2. And I would play it safe. Like I'd have no problem keeping a sleeper cell hidden for the 2.5 rounds. And it doesn't bother me. Like I'm going to triple move up. I'm going to leave it behind something, and it's just going to sit there until I need him to pop out because he's 77 points and whatever. And then I would have other stuff where, like, I would at the end of the round, I'd take my ATRT and I would double move onto a point where he's in range of 3 different things that don't want him to flame them, or things that I know are going to get an order, and then I would play a 1-pip, and I knew that. And I know that he would get an order from whatever units he was next to, and I would go first with him, and he'd just nuke something. And then after that, the sleeper cell would pop out, and they'd nuke something. And then after that, my land speeders would nuke stuff. And it's just like, I was constantly, I was by far outrolling my opponent in terms of attack dice, almost every game, except for when I played against Remnant, and that was really hard.
Okay, so something I'm trying to pick out from what you're hearing. Tell me how I'm doing. Now, in my caveman ooga booga brain, right, that wants to just press W. Sometimes I think about threat saturation lists, and sometimes my instinct is just, I'm gonna go right away. I'm gonna take everything and instantly shove it out. But what you're saying is a big part of your game plan was, even though you have all these things, and even when you rush them all out, it's a lot for your opponent to handle. You're still waiting. And you're being very careful with them, and you make sure that they all come out together, but at the right time.
Right.
And it sounds like the land speeders, because of their massive range, had a big part in controlling what your opponent was allowed to do.
Yes.
So that you could wait to move them all out together at the right time. Is that
exactly? Yeah. And there's a lot of times where I deliberately did not double tap on the end of round 1. And I would just recover my strike and fade and my HQ, because I had HQs on both my land speeders. So that way on round 2, I could play a 3-pip, or sometimes I'd play a 4-pip again.
Because you could.
Yeah. And I would HQ both the land speeders. And so they knew that at the end of round 2, they're getting double tapped. And there's nothing that they could do about that either. And so it was just because they knew what was coming at the end of the round both times, it forced hesitation that normally wouldn't be there.
I think the word that maybe we're looking for here is leverage. I think it's like having the threat that's so long, that's like a form of leverage, right?
Yeah.
It's a way to get power over your opponent and their decisions. And then going last a second time because you have the uplinks, yet another form of leverage. And so it's both saturation in the sense that there's a density of attack dice, there's a density of like time on target, but there is also like something that is causing your opponent to make slightly less than optimal decisions because you're changing what the optimal decisions are by having this leverage. Right? And so you're making it you're just making it favorable. You're sort of tilting the balance of the game towards you as you build your list in a way.
Yeah, and I would hide soft stuff behind ATRTs that could get healed up too.
Yep. So you have this combination of units where it's like, not only am I providing line of sight blocking for my sleepers, if they try to hit the line of sight blocker, my fleets who are contributing their attack pool are also healing that line of sight blocker. So it's like you have an extremely synergistic like middle of your list, and then you have on the tail end you have these big attackers that are also highly mobile.
Yeah.
So they're like these multi-role kind of, sort of addressing the what do I get for the points I pay a little bit, that concern, but also like how do I affect my opponent's decisions?
Yeah. Yeah, and there was just a lot of times where I would have a strong flank that I wanted to attack, and then I have another flank where I would just kind of sit and wait. Like, cool. Like, I mean, because we were playing shifting, and like I knew I could be patient with that if I knew that was going to bring to be honest, like a lot of times, like I said earlier, like you would want to put your opponent's shifting tokens off in the corners so that they couldn't their units that are chasing those shifting POIs down can't contribute to the game. But with this list, I just constantly bring all the shifting to me. Like it's terrible. It's like,
well, yeah, it's this concentration. You're creating a concentration of forces.
Exactly. Yeah, just bring it all to me. You're gonna have to run into my ATRTs and my sleeper cell. Like you're gonna have to do it. And then I would also like round 1. I would be very aware of their threat ranges. And I would make sure that my ATRTs were range 3 from a POI, and I'd make sure that all of my sleeper cell and my fleets were all 2.5 range from a POI, so that everyone could double move onto the POI and get on there. And yeah, they might pick off an ATRT if I go a little bit too early, or I don't go with that ATRT a little bit too early and I just dodge standby, and I'm going to go with that ATRT late round 3.
Range 3, how far an ATRT can contest?
I think if you count the 1/2.
That's what I'm wondering.
Yeah, if you count the 1/2, you can. Yeah, because ATRTs move about 10 inches. I've found an ATRT can flame you.
The big bases.
7.2.
7.2. Okay, the ATRT can flame you from like 14 inches or so. It's pretty hardcore, like what it can do. And it's very hard to stop, considering that all the deployments are now long edge to long edge.
You could stop an ATRT barely outside of range 2 from a unit with a standby that didn't want to get flamed. And you can go first to the ATRT the next round, move once, and flame that unit.
And flame it, yeah. So that's how bad standby is against flamer RTs. It just delays it by a round, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's still pretty effective, though.
Yeah.
That's what the 2 rebel troopers were in that list, is to get rid of
Flink standbys.
The standbys. Yep.
I do want to attach. Sorry, go ahead, Nathan. I keep cutting you off.
I was just gonna not to interrupt. I was just gonna ask a question about what you said. So as you were developing this list, Was there a version that did not have those rebel troopers, and then you encountered scenarios like this, and you're like, oh, I need to put these guys in to address this hole? Is that how that happened?
Yeah, I played one game, and I was like, nope.
all
I
it
need
took.
some range 3 standby blinks.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, so cool. I like that because that shows shows the importance of when you're really getting a. Obviously, we all play games all the time where we just mess around, but when you're like, okay, I'm going to a GT or whatever it is, your local tournament, you're like, I really want to like do well. The importance of iterating your list clearly is on display there. So that's cool.
And I had a rebel trooper on each flank every time for that reason.
Okay, making sure you got coverage.
Yep.
This is why I like the marksman in my list over the gunslinger for Mandalorian BSE skew. I know you're shaking your head, but I got my reasons.
You can do pikes. That's what pikes are for.
Why would I dilute my list with filthy pike scum?
Dang.
Yeah.
Dang.
So that your Mandos can actually do damage.
They can do They do plenty of damage, dude.
You're pretty good at range 3.
Mandos have 3. Okay, Mandalorians have 3 distinct power spikes. Okay, this is about Shadow Collective, folks. Shadow Collective Mandalorians have 3 power spikes over the course of the game. You have the turn with the rockets. That's number 1. Whether you use them at range 4 or range 3, whatever you do, you're probably going to get an aim because you have independent. Second power spike is emergency transponder. You usually have 2 aims with precise, so you can do plenty of damage there. Third power spike, Maul 3 pip. You have surge and an aim on top of your normal aim. Sometimes you can even combine the last 2 and transponder on the 3 pip. So you get 2 aims with precise and surges. And so they do plenty of damage. And they do it at range 3, which the Black Sun can't do. And they're standby. So that's my justification.
Yeah.
I find the precise is just it's always to hand, and I never have to worry about not getting a reroll because I'm spending for lethal.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I think if you're frequently using your Mandos at range 3, there's no question that you want to take the marksman.
Yeah.
Now, sort of to tie it into our topic a little bit, we've talked a lot about Shadow Collective Mandalorians in our Winter Moon Discord. In our I don't know. There's like a public one, and then there's one that for
right. We have the team Discord. Yeah.
Yeah, we have a team Discord. We've talked a lot about Shadow Collective Mandalorians in that Discord, and I do think Brian. I mean, you make a fair point too. Another way to run Mandalorians is a threat saturation style, where your idea is, I'm going to take the gunslinger. I'm going to get these things to range 2. I'm going to blow you to smithereens, but I'm going to have 4 Mandalorians. I'm going to have other stuff that hits hard. And again, Mandos are great for this because they're so fast and they have jump. It's like, I'm going to wait for the perfect moment to have everything pop out and wallop you at the same time. And then I'm going to do that. And then you're going to have, gosh, what did Mandalorian gunslingers throw? 8 black, 2 white.
Yeah, 8 black, 2 white, lethal one.
With Pierce because they got independent aim and lethal.
Yeah, so it's effectively Pierce. Yeah.
Yeah, 4 to 5, Pierce 1, and that's not counting the rocket shots, which maybe you're combining a rocket in there to get blast and critical. It's like, yeah.
I just think that I love the range 4 rocket, and then that followed by a range 2 shot because they're speed 3, so they skip over that whole range 3 range band.
They can. Yeah.
They can if you just move them straight up, but I often find my opponents respect my Black Suns, and the Mandos having speed 3 plus range 3 often can catch things that is like, while they're respecting my Black Suns, the Mandos still get to shoot turn 1 potentially.
Yeah. I love the forced respect that the Black Suns do. I just use that. I play my Mandos like almost like a rebel trooper unit for a little while, right? Because of that forced respect from the Black Suns, I just double move my Mandos to a spot where I know that they're going to be a problem. And sometimes I don't even pop them out. Sometimes I'm just like, cool. So they reacted to this. I'm going to double move over here now. And then when I need them to do mega damage, they can. And so,
yeah.
Yeah.
I just really love the I just think the marksman it's an ease of use thing for me.
Yeah.
And it's also like if I need to do damage at 3, I have it to hand. 4
And I
black,
know-
4 white's not impressive, but you get that red in there and precise, it becomes a little bit more impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I
'cause-
know that there's a lot of great players that like that range 3. And they're really good with it, and they're probably better than I am with my range 2 Mandos. I just really like the range 2.
No, I see the appeal.
Yeah.
I definitely see the appeal.
Yeah.
Because it's like if I'm stacking it with shotguns right now, suddenly instead of only 6 units that pierce, I might have 8 units that pierce and then all. So like the entire list can pierce potentially.
Don't
Yes.
run red saves.
Don't run red saves against this because it will just blow you up. Yeah.
Clone
Yeah.
players hate this one trick.
Black Suns hate Katarn, so
They do.
Yeah, they do.
yeah.
Everything
Actually,
is fun.
the last time I played
Everything
against
is fun.
the last time I played against Commandos, I literally refused to attack them. I just killed everything around them, so they had to come up.
Yeah.
And then I just
Yeah,
meleeed them with my
fair.
Mandalorians because I was like, yeah, you can't Katarn me or shield me. I'll just hit you with 8 black with Surge from Season Power. We can.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
it was a pretty good combo. It works.
Yeah.
Also, the cool thing about Mandalorians too is it's like, am I going to attack you or am I going to double move 2 times and kill your base or
Yes.
get a back objective?
Yeah.
I do
That's the
love
other-
that about Mandos.
That's the other thing about Mandos, and I noticed this too with Din as well. Din does the same thing because he's just
Easier
a
to
speed 3
conceal
trooper
your
with jump.
intentions.
Right, it's exactly you hide your intentions. Like, am I going to attack you or am I going to actually move again? So it's like it creates this like question mark that the Black Suns just don't have. The Black Suns are they have one job: walk to objective, kill everything in
Kill
their path.
everything.
Yeah, that's their job.
They're good at
Just
that
kill
job.
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they do well at it too. They throw like 12 dice, and sometimes it has a frag grenade attached. You know,
Yeah.
sometimes it has
Not a
shotgun.
thermal detonator, but
Not a thermal detonator, but for sure.
I'd
right.
rather get hit by a rebel agent with the thermal detonator than get hit by Black Sun.
They get hit by a frag grenade, Magdet. Yeah,
Yeah, that's one of the single most brutal attacks in the game is Magdet, frag grenade, Black Sun.
that's why I call my list pure dopamine. It's just I get a huge dopamine hit from rolling that attack pool.
So far off tangent here. Back in the days of Legacy,
Sure.
I made a meme list once that I played against my friend. It was triple Phase 1 Z6, triple Bowcaster Wookiee, 2 clone captains, and Padme. And the idea was one of the Z6s was 5s.
Hmm.
And so the idea was between the 2 captains, all 3 of the Phase 1s had a face-up order every round. And so the idea was just Wookiee fire support Z6, Wookiee fire support Z6 with the range. Oh, because it wasn't just bowcaster; it was the ones that had the
ranged Wookiees. Yeah.
Yeah, the ranged Wookiees.
Yeah, the sharpshooter.
And so I was just throwing 18 dice with
Man,
Surge.
I miss fire support.
I know. Old school.
I miss it and don't miss it
That was a
simultaneously.
dopamine hit.
That was real. That was
Well, it was a big pay. Like you
It was a
paid with
huge
a
payoff,
whole
yeah.
activation. You're losing actions.
I will say I have the closest I've come to hitting that same dopamine high of I'm throwing 18 surging dice. You can do that same thing with mega fleets.
They get 20.
Yeah, I know they get 20. The other thing I've done that was pretty cool is I forget if I've mentioned this on the podcast or not, so sorry if I already did. But I played a game several weeks ago where I had some Storm super squads with the T21 and scope. So that's 13 dice with native surge hit and critical 2. Well, I had played coordinated fire and stacked 5 aims on it. That was pretty fun. It was like I think my end result was like 8 crits, 3 hits, or like just something stupid.
Yeah, dude. Mega storms with like exemplar officers and aiding officers. Sounds pretty good.
I don't want to give away too many of my secrets, but no one cares what I say anyway, so it doesn't matter. I think
You're right.
Empire, yeah, exactly, yeah, Empire gun lines. I don't think people realize what these Empire gun lines are going to do when they start to realize that these customs can generate so many aims. 'Cause that's what's been holding Empire gun lines back, is that they all need aims. Like Shores need aims to be good, Storms need aims to be good. Like, and these are reasonably efficient range 3 units, but so many things can get to range 2 so easily, then they're just better. But like, if you can get these gun lines aims, you're just going to be able to create kill boxes that none of these range 2 units can get inside. I mean, kind of like what Brian was talking about with the land speeder. We're fully leaving threat saturation now, but hoorah. Okay,
No, but
kind
you're
of
right.
love to do
No. This is still, we're still tethered to it because this is, again, it's leverage, right? We're talking
Yeah,
about
yes.
forms of leverage at higher ranges, right? Which is
Yeah,
making
so yeah,
because like wasn't the
yeah.
major complaint at the early part of 2.6 like, oh, range 3 is dead, you're just mashing armies together and rolling dice, blah blah blah. What's actually like we've learned in the last like 6 months that ranges are actually super relevant, and
Mhm.
and not range troopers necessarily, but range as in terms of like
Dang.
I know range troopers catching strays. Anyway, like ranges in terms of just like having the leverage at range 3 and 4, and then being able to come up to get points later.
Yeah, there's definitely something to be said for like, I'm gonna get the first shot off on you, and being able to play this chicken dance around the thing. There's this point in the middle, we both want it, but it's like, okay, you're range 2 and I'm range 3 to 4. If you come out to make a move on this objective, there's going to be a smoking crater in the ground where your unit is, right? If you can build a list that does that, even if once you're right in each other's faces, maybe you're throwing less dice because you have stormtroopers and the other guy has fleet troopers. Okay, once you get to range 2, 3 fleet troopers, throw more dice. But like, if you can set up a situation where you're like, I'm gonna get the first volley of shots, my entire army is gonna shoot you before you're gonna shoot me, you have a chance to get some attrition, and then that might make the difference when they get into your face.
Yeah.
How did you deal with that, Brian? And because you have the land speeders, obviously, which did well. You mentioned that Remnant was one of your hardest games. Was that part of the reason? Is that Remnant has so much access to really strong, really consistent range 4? Was that
Yes.
part of the issue?
Yeah, because my ATRTs were not able to survive, and that exposed a lot of my stuff.
They got blown up early, huh? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So how'd you react to that? Because I mean, clearly you ended up winning the game.
Yeah.
How did you recover?
I actually played against. His name's Nate. He's here, one of the locals on the north side of Indy, and I played against him both days. I played against him in day 1, and then I played against him in the elimination rounds as well. And so his death troopers were hitting like trucks because they were just aimed up remnant, just monsters. And your ATRTs just can't survive. They can survive really well when they're defending against 4 and 5 hits with a couple of 4 and 5 hits are okay with a couple of astromechs, but when they get hit with 7 and 7 and 6 and 7, it's just like nope. This is a problem. You can't keep them alive, and so there are multiple times where I had to force like shifting to come to me. I had to completely change directions and just play absolute. Like we played breakthrough one time, and my ATRTs kept just backing up, and I would just back up to be like, cool, come to my thing, come to my breakthrough point because I'm smashing this side over here. And so my ATRTs are just waiting for you to come up, and then I'll be able to engage them with a double move, and then maybe at the beginning of the next round if they survive, maybe. Right. But it was that was what caused problems. Also, Nate did a great job the first game where he could yeet his dark troopers across the map, And like the first game, I was like, this game's in the bag. Like I've won this. And then all of a sudden, he put his Dark Troopers in a spot where he just started contesting my back breakthrough point, which he had no chance of getting to. And now I have my stuff's in a position where I have no chance of actually killing Dark Troopers because everything has moved on past that. Like my land speeders have moved past that wave. And it would be too costly to have them turn around and go back. And we didn't have enough rounds in the game left to have them do that. And so it became a real big problem really, really fast. Remnant can do cool stuff like that. And he did a good job piloting it. And I was able to win both games, but those were not fun games. They were hard on my brain.
Stressful, yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Threat saturation, but then also leveraging lots of sources of long range can make it a little bit hard. So is there a situation where, and maybe this is one of them, maybe not, and then I don't know, maybe this can be one of our last segments here. But so I was thinking about, is there a situation where obviously main game plan is you kind of described like your ideal game plan, which is you wait, you're patient. At the end of some rounds, you move your ATRTs up to the point, and then on the next round, you immediately have a move up in flame. That's like the ideal.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a situation where you look at the board, you look at the objective, you see what your opponent has, and you go, man, I think my only strategy here is just to bum rush ASAP. I'm going to take a lot of punishment, but on the flip side, I'm going to do so much damage and I'm going to score so aggressively that my opponent can't catch up. Is that ever the strategy, and when would it be?
If they only have range 2, that would be the strategy. But they don't. Or almost nobody did.
Right.
But
most of us don't have primarily range 2. That's unusual.
Right.
I'm like
Black
sheepishly
Sky.
raising my hand for the people who are listening.
Yeah.
But you've also got the Mandos.
I know. It's not purely range 2, but it's damn close. You know.
But to be honest, Nathan, I don't know if there's ever a situation where I'd feel like I need to do that. Because the biggest thing is when you want to win a GT, you have to play every game like you're playing against the best player in the world. Mm-hmm. And I don't think that is an effective strategy against a really, really good player. And so you shouldn't be doing that, even if you think it could be an advantage to you. There is no reason for my list to bum rush anybody because I out-activated most everyone. And I could safely get to the things that I needed to get to. So there's no reason in putting myself at risk like that.
And that's part of how you design the list. You design the list, lots of activations, air speeders or land speeders with order control, so that you have this option. You have this ability to, at the end of a round, come out and punish your opponent for doing something.
Yes.
And so that allows you to play it safer with your stuff, because you know your opponent isn't going to just flood the objectives. Because if they do, you're going to smash them.
Yeah. And to be honest, I did a lot of double moving with my ATRTs and a lot of double moving with my sleeper cell because I didn't need to take shots or I was activating them before my opponent, and I don't want to put them in a risky spot. Sure, I could probably move my sleeper cell up and hit something hard, but if my sleeper cell dies, it's not worth it to me, or at least yet, right? It's worth it to me later in the game, but not around 2. If a sleeper cell is dying round 2, it's usually not worth it. You want your sleeper cell dying round 3 or 4 after they've done, like, it's just harder to kill them after a certain point, right?
Right.
Because you've whittled stuff down enough.
Yeah. Same thing goes with the Mandalorians too. Like once you've done enough attrition, it's nigh impossible to break the surging red save. Because like, yeah, sure, maybe you can get like 1 or 2 shots, but they're just going to block it. And they're going to have you cover with a red surge. It's like you can't really do anything about it. Same with sleepers, right? You just don't have enough return fire to make a difference.
Yeah.
I think with that, we should probably land this plane since it's approaching 11 Eastern. So I think we're gonna leave it there. Thank you so much, guys, for being on the show, and of course, thank you to all of our listeners. Thank you everybody who subscribed to the Substack, YouTube, of course. We're gonna be making some cool announcements coming up soon. Lots of stuff in the works. Can't really talk about the details yet. Exhibition on the 10th of September, 9 p.m. Eastern. Black Sun versus Rebels, and then after that, we've got Crucible coming up. We've got another big weekend of streaming coming with Crucible. Will be 3 days of streaming out of Orlando, and it's going to be a big tournament. A lot of names coming down, and be a lot of really good players at that event. I believe we got like 49 signed up or something like that. We're
42.
42. Okay, 42. We're approaching 50-ish, maybe.
There's a solid like 30 of them from Florida.
Yeah, we have a big
lot of
community
Florida
in Florida.
players.
Yeah, the Tampa and Orlando communities are thriving right now. So
yikes!
Awesome.
Yeah, we're having a great time down in Florida, and we also pull in from Miami and Jacksonville. So those are the two other big scenes.
Okay.
And then I can't forget the Space Coast as well. We have players out near the Space Coast on top of that. So Florida has a pretty thriving scene, all told. And so it's going to be a great time, and I hope to see everybody on the 10th in chat. Bring a hobby projects. Put us on in the background if you don't want to see the show and just want to listen to the cast. But it should be a great game. Brian and John will be commenting, and Nathan and I will be playing. And the Crucible should be great too. And after that, we'll see what's in the future for us. I know I'm going to LVO. I'm going to be setting up a table to record games, not stream them. So we'll have like things to comment on later on another Wednesday night if we just want to like do if we want to just like put a game on and comment over it sight unseen.
Ooh, that'd be fun.
That could be a good one. Yeah. We'll have a lot of games recorded from LVO, maybe like 5 or 6.
A blind. Yeah,
just a blind cast.
Don't know the outcome, just watch.
We don't know the outcome, just put it on and just comment over it.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah. So there's a lot of stuff coming down the road for Winter Moon. And thank you so much for supporting it. And we will see you all next time. Thanks for listening.
See ya.
See ya.